Time now for us to do the news. The National Health Insurance Authority says it is struggling to achieve a target of registering the poor and marginalized of Ghana onto the scheme. And according to Deputy Director of Membership and Regional Operations at the authority, Raymond Avinu, the scheme has so far registered 580,000 indigents out of a 2019 target of 1.5 million people. The authority has since blamed its inability to register these very poor people on the lack of data and poor network connectivity in deprived communities. Henry Kwesi has the rest of the story.
The National Health Insurance Scheme was in 2003 introduced by the erstwhile Kufuor administration to provide quality health care to Ghanaian citizens, especially the poor and needy. But out of the 12 million actively registered members, only 4% are categorized as the poor and marginalized. The National Health Insurance Authority says it has only registered 580,000 indigents, citing among others lack of data from district social welfare offices as the reason they have not achieved their targets for the year.
As we have enumerated in the program, currently there are a lot of issues. For example, with the social welfare department, which is understandable, they have a little bit of logistical constraint, and so some of those things play out into how come the numbers are dwindling. And also we are saying that this is meant for the very core poor people, and so we want to be sure that it is the people who actually are poor that are identified. Excuse me to say, we cannot just go and then pick people and register them. So we're expecting that these people will be properly identified, and once that is done by the ministry through the social welfare department, we will do that. And if we go to the hinterlands, we have a lot of issues with network connectivity, and it's not by default that majority of this category of persons live in the hinterlands, and assessing them, when you get there, you don't have the connectivity. So the problem is that you need to identify the closest environment where you can get connectivity and then bus them to that place. And as you know, it all comes at a cost, busing them to a point where we can get connectivity.
Chief of Party of the People for Health said his outfit will petition all political parties to include in their manifestos clear-cut policies on delivering quality health care to the people.
We want the political parties to prioritize financial security for the National Health Insurance Scheme, because we believe that it is a main mechanism for all Ghanaians having access to quality health care, especially the poor. But we know that over the years, it's never had financial security. And we are going to be asking, petitioning political parties to include in their manifesto how they will ensure, when they come to power, financial security for the National Health Insurance Scheme.
The People for Change and Send Ghana say further consultations by stakeholders on access to health for every Ghanaian will be necessary as stipulated under the Sustainable Development Goal 3. Henry Kwesi Bedu's report.
Now, hand washing can prevent nearly half of all cases of diarrhea, according to one of the diarrhea, which is one of the biggest child killer diseases in Ghana. This is according to the UN Children's Fund. The Tippy Tap, a local intervention for hand washing made from sticks and recycled containers, has previously been used by many communities in Ghana to encourage hand washing with soap. Here in Accra, one social entrepreneur has added on to the innovation, making it more durable. For Tech Thursday, Justice Bedu caught up with the man behind the Tippy Tap.
This is costing next to nothing to construct for many people. All you need is an empty gallon like this one, hanged on sticks like these. And you don't even need to bother about soap, because the content of ashes from your kitchen is just as effective in ridding your hands of filth and any germs. Now the old Tippy Tap can move over. Tippy Tap
is here. On the outskirts of Amasaman in Accra, Julius Kwame Chachu is putting together his upgrade of the well-known local innovation.
All the hand washing devices, you have to use your finger to turn the tap for the water to come. And then after washing your hand, you need to close with your clean hand again. If you had deposited germs on the tap before hand washing, after washing with your clean hand, you are going to pick up the germ. So after working with children and families for over 17 years, I realized that no, something must come to replace the traditional hand washing device. So we came up with Techie Tap.
What the Techie Tap has as an extra is its durability, because it's metals that have been soldered together. It is mobile, making hand washing even more hygienic.
Through encountering my encounter with children, I realized that so many children absent themselves from school because of sanitation-related illnesses. And facts from the UNICEF show that about 45% of foodborne diseases or infections can be reduced through hand washing. So if hand washing itself can bring infection, then we are doing nothing. So the Techie Tap that we have brought can help us eliminate any infection during hand washing.
Stage lesson, please.
Inside the Amasaman MA school, Esther Ando, 13 years of age, is one of the many pupils here putting Julius's Techie Tap to use.
When you're washing your hands, it's easy to wash. And then when you wash your hands, you don't use your same hands to close it. You just use your leg or your feet to pad it.
He wants to take his product not just across Ghana, but to the world, and to push for awareness on hand washing to save lives, one household or school at a time. Justice Baidu, JoyNews, Accra.
Well, let's turn our attention to the subject of energy. And the Deputy Energy Minister, Joseph Kujo, says government is working to deal with the challenges facing power transmission company Gridco. We know this comes a day after workers of the company embarked on a demonstration to drum home the dire need for $1 billion Ghana cedi debt owed it by the ECG, NEDCO and VALCO to be settled. The workers, among others, demanded of the Finance Ministry a 250 million Ghana cedi amount promised to the management of Gridco by the President, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo, back in May this year to cushion the transmission company. They also demanded from the management of ECG a full payment of some 600 million Ghana cedi debt owed them. Mr. Kujo says the Finance Ministry is taking the matter seriously and that government will work to keep the lights on in the face of a December 10 deadline issued by the demonstrating workers.
To enable us even export power. On the light side, we know power cannot be exported in articulated trucks. That is what makes Gridco and Gridco's issues very important to us as a government. You can only export when the transmission lines can support the export. Okay, so Gridco's situation, they need more investment. They need to keep the network robust. They need to balance their network. There's a lot of things they have to do. And it is the reason why the president has, if you heard their petition, they said they were following up or they want to release the 250 million Ghana cedis the president promised them. Exactly. So to the president, it is very key issue. That's why he has ordered Ministry of Finance to give Gridco that respite.
When is it hitting?
When it comes to when, I think it is the reason why the workers are in that red band. Ministry of Finance is dealing with it because you know it has a program. Ministry of Finance has a program to issue ESLA bonds and use the proceeds to settle the legacy debts and then fix Gridco's problem.
But the minority is blaming the current situation and the huge indebtedness on the politicization of a sector led by the New Patriotic Party government. Here is a former energy minister, Emmanuel Ama Kofi Boa.
What we are seeing is that the energy sector institutions are getting deeper into debt. And I think that the Greco indebtedness and the actions of the workers are a clear indication of where we are. I'm hoping the government will get its act together and address these issues.
To the Upper West region next, where Municipal Chief Executive for WA, Isahaku Tahiru Mumin, has urged persons with disability not to sit on the fence, but work above themselves to get elected into the district level government. He says for them to get the support of development-minded persons, persons with disability should not relax, but step forward in order to make life better for themselves and their members. Alhaji Isahaku, made the statement at the celebration of the International Day of Persons with Disabilities. Correspondent Rafiq Salam brings in this report from WA.
The Upper West region marked the International Day of Persons with Disability with a town hall meeting. It was held under the theme Campaigning for Persons with Disabilities, PWDs, to win the 2019 District Assembly elections. One Municipal Chief Executive, Isahaku Tahiru Mumin, urged persons with disability and women not to sit back but put their best forward to enable them achieve victory in the December 17 polls.
You have a very strong voice, you have a very strong mind that can think deeper than the able minds. So when we find you in the assembly, your aspirations, your desires will also be represented in decision making there. So please, don't relent in your efforts. Don't sit back, step forward, and you shall get our support. It is only when we are able to bring all of you together, then we can say that our leadership was successful.
One Municipal Director of the National Commission for Civic Education, Isaac S. Waitando, stated that but for a 30% appointment quota into the municipal and district assemblies, women and persons with disabilities would have been conspicuously missing or not represented at all assemblies in the Upper West region. Out of the over 300 assembly members in the 11 municipal and districts in the Upper West region, the number of PWDs and women are not up to 10%.
The fact that women and PWDs constitute 51% and 3% respectively, according to the last population census, is not enough. If that cannot be translated into an adequate numbers for representation at our assemblies, to give them the voice they so might need to draw attention to their peculiar concerns and needs. So long as they remain outside the assemblies, there is little that the assemblies and the assemblymen can do.
Upper West Regional Director of Gender, Children and Social Protection, Charity Bature, on her part, emphasized on the need for equality and equity.
Why should I be the one to sacrifice? The men have done, they played all the chaskele, all the tricks. We've seen in and out of it. Let's give the women the opportunity to also showcase what they have. When a woman mounts the podium, instead of you concentrating on what the person can offer, somebody will sit behind and say, look at her hair, look at what she's wearing, look at her shoes. What kind of woman is this? Please look at the person's ability, what the person can offer, isn't it? What you can do is what matters, and that is what the men do. A man will support the colleague man even into fire because he knows that man will help them achieve what they have, a common goal.
Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam. Wow.
Well, that's it for the news. We have more news as we look at what stories are on the front and back pages or even the center spreads of the various newspapers we have here.